You're listening to Life with DJ Sessions right here on WCSUFM.org.
Welcome back to Life with DJ Sessions. My NMLS number is 271823. Today, we got another special guest, Mr. Greg Wimberly.
How you doing, brother? How you doing?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. And I'm paying homage because I don't know if y'all remember, he had me on his podcast a couple years ago. So if you could just introduce yourself to the audience on YouTube and on radio.
Oh, yeah. So my name is Greg Wimberly, like DJ was saying. I'm a real estate agent. I like to, pretty much say that I'm a real estate professional. So I'm not just a realtor. I'm also a real estate investor. Mm-hmm. Also do contracting, commercial, and also residential. So I do pretty much anything real estate. Then a few other things on the side like stocks and crypto as far as investments.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, man. So I dibble and
dabble. You got the whole dabble. Yeah. It is funny because I can't remember. I know we connected in January 21, but how did we connect before that? Because I was trying to rack my brain. Like
January. Okay.
Because I did the show with you and Bernard, and then. But I can't remember. We had conversations even prior to the show. So I always like to try to start off by how we connected, right?
Yeah. So the way we connected was with Design to Build.
Oh, that's
right. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah. Well, and you were sharp, brother, because I know you were also. So I'll kind of lead into some of the questions because I remember you were a project manager at a construction company.
Yeah,
right?
I was project manager. At a
big one too.
Yeah. Daniels Building Construction. So I was there for 11 years.
Yeah.
Went, parted ways with them and decided to do my own thing. I was pretty much going strictly real estate for a while as far as a realtor. But, my foundation is construction. So
Absolutely.
I wanted to get back into it. So I did a few flips. We can get into that. I don't know if that's going to be a little bit of the discussion. I'm sure it will be.
Oh yeah, it's Well, and the theme of lessons in financial empowerment, like our whole goal really here is just to chop it up, kind of give any gems for the people, just like we did when I was on your show before.
Right.
And you bring up a good point, right? That knowledge that you obtained while you were there, I mean, it's still there, right? You just and so. So really, I kind of lead right into the next one here with owning multiple properties as an investor, right? What's your most exciting thing about being in the real estate industry?
Man, it's always changing.
Right.
Being very in tune with the market is so important.
Right.
From year to year and quarterly, really understanding what's your next move for your client and also for yourself.
Oh yeah.
So this year, my wife and I decided that we weren't going to buy any more real estate for this year. Because of the uncertainty in the market, interest rates going up. Property values are still kind of was going up at the time. I think they're starting to level out a little bit now.
Yeah.
But we wanted to kind of hone in on what we have currently and try to maximize our profits that way.
That's
so
smart.
Renting out another property that we already had, and then also we had a eviction, unfortunately.
Okay.
But
oh wait, tell me about that process.
Yeah, man. So let me tell you. So that process, obviously, when you have evictions, they're not paying on their rent, they're doing something, whatever. But that process is, you have to get a lawyer because under your LLC, you have to get a lawyer involved, things like that. So there's some costs involved. The eviction process takes a couple months.
Yeah.
But
did they trash the place?
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But it could have been worse.
Yeah.
But it was some things that I'm like, man.
Yeah.
Why am I into this? But all in all, it was not too bad.
And that's a great lesson. That's why I say that, because I mean, we talk on one end of the business where you got cash flow and you're renting it out, you're the landlord. But some people, things happen, and in some cases people look, they can't pay, but you got to evict them. You got to go through the process.
That process. So the good thing is, most of the time when they are gone, you can fix it up, spend a couple $1,000s to fix it up. They were paying, the previous tenant was paying $775. Now the new tenant is paying $950.
Okay.
So you kind of are able to you have lemons, and you can make lemonade.
That's
from
right.
it.
I like
Because
that.
now you can get more cash flow and all that good stuff.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you were saying. Yep.
So are you managing multiple properties or?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm managing pretty much. I manage all my properties.
Okay.
Along with my Airbnb. So.
All right.
You know, I was talking to somebody one day, and they were like, "Man, when are you going to get like a property manager or something?" Like,
That's true.
I said, whenever I can't do it myself
Right.
anymore, I will know when I can't do it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because that, I mean, and I can see that too, because if you're looking to scale, right,
Yeah,
and you really, you know, your time just becomes so important. And
Yeah.
at one point out, this one question here is that we'd love to hear a cool success story about your journey and, you know, and tell us why it's a success.
yeah. I would say like the most rewarding has been my flips.
Okay.
I would say that's like the biggest success story. So my last flip, I went in with my sister and brother-in-law. We rented a we bought a property in the Dayton View Triangle area.
Okay.
And we bought it cash. And it unfortunately took a whole year to renovate the property.
Okay.
There was a lot of things that were going on, you know, just because, you know, he's doing his own thing, I'm doing my own thing.
Right.
It just took a while. But the good thing is we bought it for a good price, and at that time, you know, prices were still going up.
Right.
And which we kind of projected that anyway,
Right, it
because
was
we
built
did our
in.
research like we were talking about when we first got on the air here. So we knew that prices were going to go up. And we actually decided to wait a year because of the capital gains tax.
Yeah.
So we could have.
That's another gem there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Capital gains, boy.
Yeah. So you know, for you guys out there, you know, with the capital gains, if you sell your property on a flip, you know, before that year time frame, your tax is going to be higher versus after that 1 year time frame, depending on, you know, how much you make that year or whatever. But regardless, after that 1 year time frame, your tax is going to be lower.
Yeah. So let me ask you, going back to the fix and flip because I know some people, there are lending institutions where you can lend the money, you can borrow the money to go do a fix and flip, or you can dip it into your own reserves.
Yes.
Did you do kind of a combination of that, one or the other?
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm asking, because I know a lot of viewers sometimes want to know, how do I get in the game? And the fix and flip just kind of is a great entryway to kind of get your feet wet, kind of learn some things.
Yeah. I think the big thing is to never use your own money. We kind of talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, never use your own money. The way I started was, you know, at 23, I bought my first property, and it was, you know, kind of the renovation property.
Right.
So I did basically a live-in flip.
Okay.
You know? So I stayed in there for about 6 years, kind of slowly renovating. I need a place to stay anyway.
Right.
So why not
That's
get
smart.
something that's an investment property that I'm fixing up and things of that nature. So from that, I was able to have equity in my house.
Nice.
You know, so I actually
Makes
pulled
sense. Yeah.
equity out of that property. I think I did a home equity line of credit.
Yep.
No, I'll take that back. We sold that one, so we made a profit. And after, for you guys that don't know, after 2 years of living in your primary home, you don't have any tax liability on it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much cash in your hand.
Nice.
So we sold that property, got another investment property. We had equity in that one.
Right.
So from that property, we got a HELOC, home equity line of credit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we got really started on buying other investment properties that weren't our primary.
Right. It's smart. Other people's money, OPM. See, he's using the tools that are out there already.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, one of the other questions here is, being a real estate investor surely comes with challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a tough moment, how you faced it and managed it and handled it like a pro?
Man, I think that's every job, everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a given almost, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I'm trying to think of a really tough one that I had to deal with. I would say that my last as a realtor, that was my last closing was my toughest one.
Okay.
Just because dealing with clients is a little different when you're just doing it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
We had to deal with a seller that didn't want to do anything. You know, they were just kind of like, I don't feel like, doing anything.
Right,
so
right.
we had to we had to kind of take the bull by the horns
Mm-hmm.
and really we even stepped in and paid some of the utility costs and things like that. So I would say that was my toughest close, but other than that, I would say that my flips were probably most challenging, toughest, but most rewarding at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So your background as a project manager is a great foundation for entrepreneurship.
Yes.
How did that experience influence you in a way to run your real estate business?
I would say that the biggest thing, like I said, that's my foundation. So as a project manager, I use that mindset pretty much for everything that I do. My wife kind of gets on my, she's like, why you gotta be on task about everything?
Hey.
I'm like, it's just that's how my mind
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
Like, I'm like, all right, it's 10 minutes away. I gotta make sure that I put my GPS on because if there's traffic, I won't get there in time, things of that nature. But, regardless, I think as a project manager, you can use that in life. You can use that for your next projects, in real estate. So right now I'm working with a client that is wanting to expand their business. They want to do other things other than what they're doing with group homes and their what else they're doing. I can't think of the
You don't have to tell. That's all right.
Yeah. But anyway, they want to expand their business, so I'm working with them to do that.
Okay.
As an independent project manager.
And we're working on some stuff too, right? I mean, because
I don't know how much you want to talk about.
We go too deep, but no, you opened my eyes a lot in this process. I mean, for some, I'm trying to learn the development game. And we had from our conversation that we had, I was like, all right, and we met up, and so we're working through that process. And so, the development, you have to almost go through it to really truly learn it, right?
Right.
And that's what I'm learning.
And I think the big thing with development is, and I think we were talking about this, is like the planning process is so important.
Yeah.
People all they see is, okay, there's boots on the ground, there's a shovel on the ground, there's equipment out there, but they don't realize how much how much planning goes into it. And really, that's half or even more of the battle than actually doing the construction.
Right.
Because if you don't understand, the floor plan, you don't have the site plan set up,
Topography.
Your soil. You might be, putting the building on soil that's just going to continue to sink your building. That's something like that. You have to make sure you understand that and do your research and all that stuff before you even start doing it.
Right. So the real estate market can be competitive. How do you kind of make your mark and stand out from the crowd?
Honestly, I would say that I'm not a salesman. I never have been, never will be. I'm always say I'm straight, no chaser.
Straight, no chaser. So are you bourbon? Are you scotch? Are you whiskey? Right?
I'm a vodka guy.
Okay, vodka. All right. Okay.
You know that. But anyway, I'm gonna always give you the facts.
Right.
I don't want to give you anything that you can't go back and research yourself. And I'm not going to lie to you. So that's kind of my claim to fame, and it keeps me, I guess, separate from some possibly real estate agents or real estate investors. Is that I cannot sell you. I'm not a car salesman. None of that. I'm just going to give you it straight and let you know what the facts are.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So for all the aspiring real estate investors out there, what is one simple piece of advice you wish you knew when you got started?
Man, that's tough. That's tough because the market changes so much. I can't really think.
I was gonna say what you just said because it's constantly changing.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the real estate on the lending side, and it's the same thing. That's the one thing they say is the same is it always changes.
Yeah.
Right. So, but that was just me saying that. But when you said it, man, it's tough. Thinking that in itself right there is one lesson, right?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is the people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah, that's facts right there.
For one, you can't do it yourself.
Right.
People think that you can just go in there and do everything yourself and you don't need any help. For one, that's going to take forever. And two, that's not how you build relationships. I feel like you need a strong lender that knows what they're doing, loan officer. You need contractors, HVAC, plumbing. You need those guys on your team. Yeah, exactly. You need inspectors. You need all those people in your corner, and you need good ones to
Right.
make sure that you are being able to scale your business and also get projects done quickly.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it is a timing thing. Like I was telling with my flip, it lasted a year. Didn't want it to do that way, but you have to be able to adjust with your situation. Overall, you want to make sure you get things done efficiently. And with that, I think building a team around you is very important.
Nice.
You know, having a financial, what's it called, have a financial specialist that is telling you, hey, this is what you need to invest in. These are different markets that you need to get into. Like I said, loan officer. I think when we were doing our podcast with Legacy Learning Institute, it was like, all right, you got to have your legacy team.
That's right.
You know, how can
I call it the A-team.
Yeah, the A-team. Yeah. So how can you build your team to make sure that you and your family are going to be taken care of?
Right.
Not necessarily being uber rich, but well off.
Right.
You know, you don't have to worry about anything. When you have a financial issue, you have emergency funds,
Right.
things of that nature.
Oh yeah. All right. Final question here.
Yeah.
Juggling different aspects of the entrepreneurial life must be challenging. What keeps you motivated and excited about exploring new opportunities?
I would say my family, man.
Family.
I would say that my kids, you know, I have daughters, I have twins. They'll be 10 in December, and being able to give them something, you know, that I didn't have. Not saying that I didn't have a good upbringing, because I did.
Yeah.
I had, you know, my parents did great, but their focus wasn't in investing. And I think that a lot of times, especially in the Black community, you're not going to have a lot of people talking about investing and, you know, having ownership and things of that nature. So I think that, you know, it's taking it a step further. My family keeps me motivated.
Yeah.
You know, it keeps me saying that, okay, I want to build a legacy. I want to be able to pass something on to my kids. You know, obviously I want to give them my work ethic, but also I want to have something tangible and something that's physical, saying, hey, here's a house, or here's you know, $20,000 or $100,000 or whatever it is. Be able to flip that, make money off.
Oh yeah.
You know. So I would say
I love that generational mindset.
Yeah, generational wealth.
Generational wealth mindset. That's right.
And that's what my company is called, Gen Wealth.
Yeah.
Generational wealth. So that's why I call it that in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll wrap it up. I mean, really, if there's anything else you want to tell the audience, you know, how to get a hold of you, anything you want to, any last words from Mr. Wimberly?
Yeah. You know, I'm on Facebook. So Facebook is just Greg Wimberly. I have 2 Facebook accounts, which is Greg Wimberly Realtor, and then Greg Wimberly. And then also I'm on Instagram, GD_Wimberly. So
Nice.
that is how you get a hold of me. I don't know if we're able to give, you know, anything else, email.
Hey, you can do that. It was whatever, right? I mean, you would think, right, in today's age, with, you know, you said Facebook and, you know, and Instagram, you know, people can find you, they can Google you. Yeah. But
you really could, like, literally, if you Google Greg Wimberly right now, pretty much, and I do that sometimes. I'm like, all right, what pops up? You know, what kind of stuff goes on? Like, is it me, or is it some dude like get a mugshot or something?
Right.
Like
It's funny. Well, it's funny you said it, because you know you made it when you got like somebody making a fake account out of you or something. You're like, wait a second,
like,
but
that's not me.
You know, but all right, good. Well, hey, this was dope. Thanks again. Tune in for the next show. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're listening to Life with DJ Sessions. Special thanks goes to Wade Oberlin of OnOurOwnRadio.com, Charles Fox, K Divas Music Media, and the